Live from the Loading Ready Run orbiting underground moon base, it's the LRRcast for January 12th, 2013. Hey!
What up?
Ooh, check it out.
Look at this.
We
We're
have
all fancy.
microphones.
Bet you guys didn't think you'd be seeing one of these.
Whole different setup.
Yeah.
Ever again.
We got microphones with like these things on them so we don't make noises.
Except
Just
for when
like-
you do that.
Well, I
It also stops us from eating the microphone.
It
It's
was-
like
that was a demonstration of how much better it is.
Which is too bad because these microphones look delicious.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
They look like metal snow cones.
That's
Yeah.
okay. Graham and I prepared by getting coffee.
A metal snow cone doesn't actually doesn't actually sound that delicious.
No, it really, really doesn't.
Well, obviously we have different tastes because
It's
it sounds.
it's a snow cone with like metal shavings.
Ugh. Okay, I don't want that. That just sounds cutty. I don't like that.
It doesn't sound
What
good
if it's
at
like
all.
it looks like metal, but it's actually like those candies that like look shiny and metallic? What if it's like shavings
It's
of
like
that?
the little silver balls?
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
think they're silver on the inside.
Those things are terrible.
Yeah, they're teeth breaky.
Yeah.
I don't like them.
Who needs teeth when you're eating snow cones?
Snow cones made of metal.
Yeah.
Gum,
Anyway.
gum.
Oh God, Graham's
Sorry.
playing with stuff.
I'm watching the levels. I think we're okay.
So we've got this whole new setup here, which we got for various reasons, not just to do this specific podcast. So you
Yeah.
can see the mixing board that's right here is we actually got that for last Desert Bus, so we can have all the crazy stuff you saw during Desert Bus, well, specifically that you heard during Desert Bus. And then once we got the mixing board, we were like, this is awesome. Now we have XLR inputs. Ooh. And so now we can get these nice microphones
Yeah.
for doing Unskippable. And so we can record Unskippable much better.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're like, well, we've got these two microphones for doing Unskippable. And we've got this board that has a whole bunch of inputs on it. If we get two more microphones,
Then we can start doing podcasts.
then we can do podcasts
Yeah.
and hopefully not have the thing with like
Suspiciously professional sounding podcasts.
some guys like, somebody's at the back and has to
Yeah.
yell. And
I don't think Unskippable sounds hugely different
probably not.
because we had that sort of locked down, but the Let's Play sounds great.
Well, yeah, the mixing board also allows us to much better control the audio of us versus the audio of the game in Let's Plays.
To be
Yeah.
honest, the biggest improvement will be in the podcasts.
Oh, yeah.
Because the podcast used to be us on that couch
With the
Zoom
zoom
pointed at sort of everybody.
pointed generally outwards.
Yeah, it's just like, which direction are you guys facing? All right, let's point it that way.
Right now, though, we only have 4 microphones, so no one else.
In fairness, we don't really have room for any more people.
No.
I think a 4-person podcast is
I
fine.
think that's
Also, we
fine.
can control people separately. So if we ever get like Matt in here, we can just
just
Yeah,
turn
just
his,
turn his
just turn his
way
we
slider
can
right
just
down.
start talking about other stuff and turn his volume down and just keep talking. And, yeah. Or whatever. We have all sorts of options.
Yeah. So this is, as you can see on our delightful monitor here, the LRRcast. This is the podcast, vidcast, however you're watching this on YouTube or in your iTunes or whatever, that you have come to know and love.
It's our flagship.
Yeah. It's our flagship podcast.
This is our new podcast network.
Yes.
This is the flagship show.
Yes.
Yeah.
I kind of wish Twit wasn't already taken. That seems like it
It's
defines us so
it
well.
it is a good.
It is a good.
It is a good.
James is
I'm
James is
so
a good.
I haven't had coffee, so you guys can just leave me alone.
All right.
So yeah, this is a new podcast setup, and we're going to be doing one podcast every week,
Yep.
four times a week or 4 times a month. So if we get into one of those,
Not 4 times a week.
not 4 times a week.
Good Lord, who are we? Adam Carolla?
If Corolla or Twit or whoever, if we get into one of those wacky months where there are 5 weeks, we get a day off.
Ooh.
There will not be a bonus podcast.
No?
I don't think so.
We're not just going to
Suck it,
cycle
August.
through.
Suck
Well,
it,
because then we get
August.
out of sync with the months, though.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
gets complicated.
Oh, so it's going to be like the X Friday of every month.
I
is
think
this?
that's a good way of doing it.
I
Yeah.
think so.
So what
yeah.
are we now? Is this the second Friday? Third Friday?
When does this go up?
What are we? What's going? Well, I mean, technically this is a Saturday, but we're going to put it up today.
Yeah. So from now on, we'll be recording them on Fridays. They will be going up on Saturdays.
So this is the second Friday. So the LRRcast second Friday of the
Second
month.
Friday of the month.
We're discussing this now live
Yeah.
in
Yeah,
front of you.
so we're
It's
figuring this out.
amazing. We're figuring it out.
That has been defined.
Well, now we can figure out when the other podcasts are.
Well,
so the second podcast we're doing is
Wizard Chat.
not Wizard Chat. Maybe that's what we can do on the 5th Friday
No!
of those weird months,
No!
we can introduce
No!
Wizard Chat. So it
No!
happens only like 3 times a
No!
year.
No.
We're saying we can
And it's
have
just,
a
and it's
Wizard
just
Chat
Kathleen
podcast.
wearing a wizard hat, talking about whatever she wants to talk about.
We're doing
That
a magic
actually-
podcast. Its name is going to be Wizard Chat. Bracket the Snapcast end bracket.
We haven't named it yet.
We haven't actually. So
Then it'll just be Wizard Chat.
there's
I feel
a-
very strongly about
we will be
this.
doing a magic podcast.
Called
Yeah.
Wizard Chat.
We will be doing that next week.
So it'll be the third Friday of every
Third
month.
Friday of every month.
If you want that magic podcast to be called
Damn it.
Wizard Chat,
You shut
email
up.
James at loadingreadyrun.com and be like, James, you're a
You
fool.
should name it.
James-
Wizard Chat.
James is now going to be setting up a filter. Anything
Yeah,
that says Wizard,
Wizard
Chat,
Chat, just-
goes right to the spam folder.
No.
Yeah.
Also email Graham and Paul.
No.
Yeah. Graham at loadingreadyrun.com, Paul at loadingreadyrun.com.
I will blacklist all of your emails. Anyone who does that.
No.
Zing.
Email. Tell them. Put it on the forum. Send me emails and I'll forward them on. He can't
those-
blacklist
for
my
those-
email.
For those who aren't aware, when we were brainstorming names for Checkpoint,
Many years, or
like
2 years ago.
2.5 years ago,
Yeah.
Jer and I
We-
decided.
well, we came up with a bunch of names that wouldn't work for a variety of reasons, and one of them was Wizard Chat. This was not a serious suggestion. It was just like, I don't know, Wizard Chat. And we're like, what? No. And then the follow-up suggestion was Beards.
That's a good one too.
Yeah. And ever since...
I forgot about it. Had an exclamation point after every word.
After every beard, yeah.
Beards.
And ever since we decided... I can't imagine why we decided not to, but ever since we decided not to use it for Checkpoint, Kathleen has been trying to get us to use Wizard Chat for the name
Now,
of
I-
every single thing we have to name.
Jer
Yes,
has
everything.
also. Jer is
This
also
is the-
strongly behind the Wizard Chat.
Not as much as
movement.
you are.
Well,
This is as close
he's
as
not
we've ever
here as
come.
often as
This is as
I am.
close as we've come to a reasonable use for something called Wizard Chat.
I'm
We're
going to put
still
a thread on the forums called Wizard Chat, and I want everybody to weigh in.
we're still not using it.
We are absolutely. I will.
You're not allowed on this podcast.
So, anyways, we have a magic podcast.
It's called Wizard Chat.
It's called To Be Announced.
Yeah.
After that, we have those games we played.
Yep.
And
Which
that
we're
will be
gonna-
recorded on the fourth Friday, right? Second, third. Now we're into the fourth.
Yes.
Yeah.
So is it the first Friday that we?
First Friday is the as yet to be decided podcast.
Yes.
We have a couple ideas for a fourth. We want to do 4. We have a couple ideas.
And that would be something that with your if there's anything in particular that you would like to hear us talk about,
Yes.
that might be
that
a,
would
a
act-
subject.
That
you
is
might wanna
feedback
see.
that we would value.
Yeah. That you think that
You know
we
what you
might
have
have
to
some
do.
kind of insight on.
So post any ideas you have in the thread for this podcast. That would be fantastic.
Yeah. Those games we played podcast will be pretty much the one that you're used to.
We're gonna
It'll
try
be
to
more return to the old form
yeah, we're gonna try to bring back actually talking about stuff that's happening in the industry.
in the industry.
Not
Yeah.
just. I mean, the problem was that we get to the point where it's so long between podcasts that we just have to talk about what we're playing,
Yeah.
and we don't have time to talk about anything else, which is probably the less
I
interesting
can't
part
wait
of it.
can't wait to talk about Dishonored. It's
Well,
so
it'll be
good.
nice.
I know,
Again,
yeah.
we have less people.
Yeah.
Means less people talking about games.
I love Matt, but it won't be Matt talking for 45 minutes about the minutia of whatever game he happens to be playing.
It could be. We could Skype him in.
Yeah, we should do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, let's not.
Let's Skype him in. Anyways,
All right.
And the Magic podcast, I'm really excited about.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
because we have some good ideas for that.
That will be in line with all of our other Magic content. It'll be more entertainment than educational.
Casual, shall we say?
It is a casual
Yeah.
Magic
Sort of
podcast.
like
Magic show.
chatting is
no,
casual.
Will you stop, please? We are trying to tell them what this Magic podcast will be like. So more casual.
Casual in the sense of the content, and also dealing with casual magic in particular.
Yeah.
The idea of not necessarily having to play in competitions and stuff.
Yeah.
But
you will
playing
not
with your
get
friends.
a 5-hour set review
No.
of Gatecrash from us, for instance.
Well, there's people who do that already.
Yes,
Yes.
exactly.
They're gonna
We
do a
will
way
talk
better
about
job.
we will talk about upcoming
yeah.
cards and stuff. We have some plans for specific recurring
Segments.
recurring segments. Ideally, it's a podcast that if you are a fan of Magic but don't necessarily know much about Loading Ready Run, would like to listen to if you're into something about just sort of casual Magic. So it could be fun.
That's the hope.
Yeah. But now is the LRRcast, the first one we've done since what, August? You
August.
said?
Yeah, August 16th.
Really? Wow.
And that's the last one that's on the website.
Ooh.
It's been a
right.
while.
We did one after that
Okay.
that had some sort of colossal audio problem because we were recording it out on the streaming PC, and there was an audio setting in our recording program XSplit that was different.
Right.
That it was doing that like techno feedback loop where it starts running the audio from the podcast into the podcast and then running that audio
it
back
sounded
into
like
it.
an Owen Pallet concert
I remember
after a
that.
while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So it was. I think it was actually a Those Games podcast. I recall Beige was there,
It's probably that makes
and
sense.
I was
Yeah.
like, "Oh, this hasn't been, like we recorded it, and then we didn't put it up, and then a week later, I was like, "Oh yeah, we should put this online." And I opened it up, and it was just like, "Wow, and I'm like, "Oh,
So-
well, we can't use that," and it's not recoverable. So
No. So it has been 5 months.
ooh,
Now,
Almost
in our
6,
defense,
I
in our
guess.
defense,
that's a good point. What have we been up to in those
Well,
5 months?
So yeah, I mean, we're not going to talk about all the videos.
No.
That we
No,
discussed.
Videos
no.
happen.
no.
Yeah.
Well, actually,
we
so
went to PAX, and then we had to start working on Rapid Fire, and then we had to start working on Desert Bus, and then we had to go film a big thing in Seattle.
Which is not secret anymore.
Oh,
We
right.
can tell
You guys-
everybody
We had to
that.
go film Strip Search, and then we had to collapse due to exhaustion.
Yeah.
Well, and all the actual like pre-production for Strip Search was also going on during that time,
Oh,
which
God,
was
yeah.
ridiculously huge.
Yeah, we can't say too much. Like Robert wants to keep a lot of the sort of the timeline of the actual shoot and everything pretty locked down, which is understandable. But we started planning for that. I think we had a meeting with them in July.
our first meeting was July.
Yeah.
It was so yeah, we it'll be very good to actually see that come out.
We
Oh,
were
my
very
goodness, yes.
busy.
But
in
so
the
yeah,
last
we
minute.
were busy, and unfortunately, I'm sure you guys understand that if we're sitting here on Friday or on Saturday, and we're like, what are the priorities to do? Obviously, the actual video that we have to shoot. Comes
Yeah, it was
first.
always first.
Yeah.
So
And so, unfortunately, the podcast had to drop at that point. But hopefully, we can bring them back now, and we'll get into a rhythm here where it's a little easier to produce them, and we don't have to just kind of grab time whenever we can.
Yes, we have a streamlined system. We have 4 of us are available on Fridays now, and yeah, should be good. Should be good. So James posted a new Askler thread
oh my god.
for the first time in like
Oh my god.
forever.
So what we're gonna do now, because this is gonna be a once a month podcast, so probably 2 weeks before we record, I will put up a Askler thread. Because of loading times now, it's not necessarily the best use of our time to sit here and talk to you about the most recent video, because you can just go watch how that video was shot. Now, if a loading time is missed on a video, then of course
we'll
we
try
can
to.
talk.
And I know that there's a couple that we have missed.
Yes.
Or if
But-
there's any, I mean, the nice thing is we can talk about if there's any sort of post video stuff, any sort of reactions that people had,
Yeah.
anything like that could be interesting.
So we'll get into that. Not this podcast, because there's just too much. But that's the plan from now on.
Yeah.
So
I
look
like
for those
that-
Askler threads.
Just briefly, I know that this was in a loading time, but the rapid fire thing, we had been hoping to shoot rapid fire.
We had talked about doing it last summer.
Yeah.
Originally, like
Yeah.
summer of 2011.
And we never got that rolling. And so then we were going to shoot it this summer and didn't end up getting it rolling until
September.
well, I think
Late
I think
August.
the first
the first thing we shot for
thing we shot was
Andy's Prime Minister thing.
which was just like, we know we're shooting rapid fire, let's make up some stuff when we're
Yeah.
shooting
Yeah.
a warning.
We've
But the first actual like official shooting day, I think, was in October.
was it? Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess it was.
It was the day
Yeah.
it was the first day out at Macaulay Point where it started to rain really bad.
Yeah,
No
so
rain here for like 4 or 5 months.
Oh yeah,
and
the
literally
driest summer
the first
Victoria has had on
I just-
record.
I was actually I was talking to my dad the other day, and I was just saying that for some reason, Loading Ready Run over the 9 years we've been doing stuff, we have consistently been almost precisely out of sync with the weather and with the seasons. Like during the summer, we are always trying to shoot indoor stuff, and we're always trying to shoot stuff at night, so we have to wait really late.
Yeah.
And then in the winter, we're always trying to shoot outdoor stuff, and it's really cold, and the sun goes down really fast, and it rains, and we're like, this is so annoying. For some reason, I guess it's just like, you can't control when the ideas come.
Yeah.
And what ideas are happening, and so it's just like,
We're bad.
sorry, I should have had this idea in the summer, but I didn't. So
Yeah.
there it is.
The reason that we were like, okay, let's really finally get rapid fire shooting is because we realized that we we needed those. We needed that footage. Yeah, you can just hit. You can just hit like shift. Sorry, just waking up our monitor. We realized that we needed those episodes for sort of future-proofing against Desert Bus and working on Strip Search and like not being able to shoot our normal weekly videos.
Mm-hmm.
And so it worked out really, really well that we were sort of like, all right, let's look at all the videos between now, which I think we did this in late September. Let's look at every week's video between now and the new year. And we just planned it all. Yeah.
Yeah, it's how we ended up with a somewhat unfestive but serviceable Christmas video, which was filmed at the end of November.
Yeah, it starts really into Christmas and then kind of goes wide. That's fine. Yeah.
That's fine.
Did the best it could.
And we like for Rapid Fire, we did partly to do with just how the scheduling was working out, and partly because we actually wanted to see how it would work. We tried something a little different than we'd done with the previous Rapid Fires, where this one we actually aired all the Rapid Fires in quite rapid succession.
Yeah.
Instead of waiting a couple of weeks between each one. This one we wanted to be... So the hope is that it sort of made some of the running gags more obvious, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so hopefully people didn't get too, tired of Rapid Fire.
No,
I
think general response was really, really positive.
Good. Yeah, I think the system we actually did work pretty well. Like I think if we had done 6 straight weeks of Rapid Fire, that would have been a little bit too much.
Mm-hmm.
But having sort of 3 and then a little break, and then I think it was like 3 and then 2 and then 1.
Yeah,
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that was a good way of doing it.
If we do want to talk about sort of fan response, I think the only really divisive Rapid Fire scenes this year was the Sigma Theta Delta girls. Some people liked them, and some people really didn't.
Just found them too annoying.
And well, I mean, the argument, which is fair, the argument makes it sound like it was a bigger deal than it was. The criticism, which I think is fair, is that the dynamic with them is very different without a straight, a straight girl, I guess, which was
right.
Kathleen's character in the original, and now it's just
they just reinforce each other.
watching them be stupid, which I actually find very funny. I like the idea of stupid people with no check. There's there is no one to say that's a terrible idea. They're just reinforcing each other's
The
stupidity.
thing that I really like about it is I like that as well in short doses, which is why it worked well here. An entire video of the three of them would be
terrible,
but it's
insufferable.
I like in those sketches, basically you as the viewer are taking the place of Kathleen's character in the original thing, because it's not like Kathleen's character had any impact on what the Sigma Theta Delta girls did.
No.
She was absolutely not able to stop them from
couldn't
doing
stop
whatever
them
they
at
did.
all.
So she has about as much impact as you as the viewer had. So that's kind of silly.
The ow, that was my elbow. The now a fair criticism, though, not that other criticism wasn't fair. That was poorly worded. Additional criticism, which I am more inclined to agree with, I guess, is that they didn't have an arc, really. Obviously, it built to what I felt was their most ridiculous scene, but they didn't really have sort of like an arc, whereas even Dale Hansen, the weird on-location reporter, sort of did, which collided with the Snuggie cultists being, the sort of he's the Oracle, and the bad TV salesman. Turns out that is not actually a thing. So they didn't really have an arc. We didn't set out to necessarily make sure that everyone did or didn't, but I think that's fair.
Like maybe if we were ever to do more Rapid Fire with more Sigma Theta Delta girls, then having them interface with somebody else.
That could be good. That could be really good, yeah.
Or it might sort of serve as that kind of or there could be like an arc of them trying to set something up and dealing with, whatever bureaucracies they have to deal with at the university or, whatever.
Yeah. We ended up with a lot of great content for Kane and Crowthorne this time, though.
Oh, yeah.
We were like pretty early when we were looking at sort of characters that we've done videos with before that we think should live again in Rapid Fire, not necessarily in another video of their own.
I really think Kane and Crowthorne are absolutely tapped out for full-length videos.
Yeah, but they were like top of our list for we should get these guys in an episode of Rapid Fire, and that worked out really, really well. And
especially with the addition of Savoy and
Savoy
Chevalier.
Savoy and Chevalier.
They're French. I like to think of them as like better trained, less random and chaotic counterparts. Like,
but not more successful, because that's the
No.
thing. Kane and Crowthorne are very good at what they do.
Yeah.
They're just
As long as what you want is everything destroyed.
yeah, exactly.
yeah, like if you absolutely want someone dead, you call Kane and Crowthorne. If you are trying to preserve any hint of secrecy, you go with Savoy and Chevalier.
Yeah.
I was trying to think, wasn't there at least one bit of Crane and Crowthorne that we ended up not being able to do?
Yeah, there was one that we didn't shoot. I'm gonna see if I can find it. It was actually just them by themselves, because we originally wanted to set them up just to sort of remind people who might not have seen their videos what the like what their characters were.
Right.
And so we had a scene or two. I'm trying to find it now. We had a scene or two that.
Where they were like infiltrating, that are actually like doing their thing, that they were infiltrating a base, right?
Yeah, we had a scene or two that were written that was actually just them. It was just them as themselves doing their own thing, and I cannot find it for some reason. It's weird. Stretch for time.
I
found the prop list.
That's important.
I can't quite remember how the leak spin music goes.
Oh God,
All right.
it's gonna
All right.
take me
Yeah,
forever to find.
Whatever.
Doesn't matter.
Anyways.
All right,
Point is-
on to Askler.
Yeah, let's do some Asker.
All right. So we're going to be sort of picking and choosing questions through the list, and now I wanted to ask, because they didn't know when they were asking these questions that we will be doing a magic podcast. Should we answer magic questions, or should we just hold off for a week
We'll
We'll hold off for a
address?
week. Yeah.
Okay, so we'll address magic related stuff in the forthcoming magic podcast.
So I guess there'll be some sort of Q&A part of the Magic podcast, probably.
Probably, or like some viewers want us to talk about this. I'm happy to. I think like most of the magic questions that I saw in here are things that we're going to want to talk about anyway. So I don't think that'll be a problem. So you have a lot of very ridiculous hats.
This
No,
is very true.
That is incorrect.
States Jam Falcon. Which do you think is the funniest or strangest?
Ooh.
I don't know. That's almost like
well,
something that the
okay.
viewers should answer, really.
Yeah.
I feel the funniest is actually a combination of two
Oh, are you going to
hats.
say Caesar chicken?
Yeah.
Because that's my go-to.
Caesar chicken.
Seizure, not
Seizure
not
chicken.
not Caesar chicken.
Although I kind of want that
It
now.
could be
All
Caesar.
hail Caesar
hail-
chicken.
Yeah. No, I mean,
chicken.
it's a combination of the Christmas hat. No, is it a Christmas hat? Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a Christmas hat that.
The We Are Santa's Elves.
Yeah,
hat.
we are Santa's elves that bobs back and forth, and then we have a chicken hat from. Is it a?
From Brad.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can't remember. if
It's
it was
just
like-
a chicken.
It's just
no,
a chicken.
I don't think it's from anything.
I couldn't
But
remember if it was
doesn't-
like-
it doesn't stand up.
No,
Yeah.
it flops down. So you put it inside of this hat, and then it starts going back and forth. And that hat, the Christmas hat, has a tendency every once in a while to go
Well,
back and
it
forth
goes
really
like
quick,
back, and then
like
wiggles in the air.
Wiggles in the
Yeah.
air, and that's where Caesar chicken comes from. But that's my favorite hat and
Yeah, that's
silliest
definitely
hat.
a solid-
I mean, it's
Have you actually used that in Feed Dump? The combination of the two hats?
I don't think we've
I don't
actually
think you
used
have.
actual Caesar chicken yet.
no.
Have you used either of those hats? You used the.
I've used the Santa's elves.
Yeah.
Yes, that was terrifying. I don't think I've used the actual chicken either. I'll have to check. There's
We
a
used it to great effect during Desert Bus, though.
yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
There's a
I'm
entry,
sure there's lots of videos on the Desert Bus YouTube of Caesar chicken.
There's an entry on the Loading Ready Run wiki about the hat. That's a page of thumbnails
Of all the hats.
which is actually really really useful for me.
Oh, yeah.
It's definitely since Feed Dump, like before we started doing Feed Dump, our collection of hats was very large, but was predominantly just hats. Like they were just different kinds of baseball hats and different kinds of toques and different kinds of cowboy hats and actual hats that we used for costumes. Our percentage of useful costume hats versus just ridiculous hats has definitely gotten kind of warped after Feed Dump. Like there's all sorts of great hats that we've got for Feed Dump that there isn't really any way we can use for actual videos unless the video is people wearing weird hats.
Man, I forgot
which
about
we have done
the-
as a video before.
I
That
forgot
was
about the knitted I'm trying to find an answer to this question, like silliest or most ridiculous hat. I forgot about the knitted rainbow Guy Fawkes mask.
Ooh, that one's good too.
Oh yeah, that one. I don't know if that's really a hat, but it is
I guess not. I guess that's more of a balaclava.
And the like ridiculous ugly hat is pretty awesome too.
Yeah,
that's good too. That was made for us. I think.
Yeah.
I think the strange head massager
Ooh, that one's good too.
is pretty good.
Mhm.
Yep.
No, it doesn't look like I've used seizure chicken.
All right. Now we know. Now we
Feed
have,
dump.
now
Got to
we
use the
have-
chicken first too. I haven't even used that. All right. Well, there we are.
All right.
Who among you asks
Paul.
Mr. Pain Train?
It's always Paul.
I think you're correct actually.
Yes.
In this case, because it's who among you has the best. Oh, Gesundheit, Kathleen. Who among you has the best French?
It's certainly the hell not me.
It's not me.
Now I say Paul because for the first
I-
couple years,
Yeah, I actually did French immersion for a while.
yeah. Which
And-
you should explain what that is for those who
So-
might not know.
As you may know, Canada is bilingual, both English and French, and so we have to learn. Everybody has to learn French in high school, and a little bit in elementary school as well. But you can also do French immersion classes, which is where everything is taught in French.
You were immersed in the French.
So I was in from grade 2, I think, until grade 4. No, grade 1 until grade 4.
Right.
I was in French immersion. But the problem was I wasn't actually very good at it. Like I wasn't. I did poorly at it, and like I did bad at. I think I have a reasonably good accent now. I go bonjour, je m'appelle Paul. Ça va?
Ça va bien.
Oui,
Merci.
ça va bien. Oui.
Et tu?
Et tu?
Puis-je aller aux toilettes, s'il vous plaît?
That's all I know.
Yeah.
That's more than I know.
That was I
Season,
had to remember that one because the teacher wouldn't let us go to the bathroom unless you asked
in French.
in French.
Yeah.
So it had to be Monsieur, puis-je aller aux toilettes, s'il vous plaît?
It was weird because when you're doing French immersion, there's certain words that you learn at school that are only school words.
Yeah.
And when you learn them from really, really young age in French immersion, so like exercise book,
Yeah.
up until I was quite old, I always called those a cahier
Yeah.
because that's what they were called in French, and I had never learned the English word for it because it was never important. But it's interesting. Like I have something of an accent, and I can understand. Like if I'm on a bus,
I'm pretty good at understanding French.
and I
yeah.
hear people talking French, I can kind of get the general gist of what they're talking about. But
Oh, that's
we
better
went
than
to
us.
I was going to say a French restaurant, but it was
just a French cheese
it
restaurant.
was a cheese restaurant in Vancouver recently, which is amazing, by the way. And if you guys are there, you need to go. It's just like amazing cheese. We had fondue. It was great. But there was they're a member of the what the hell, the Fromage l'Institut International. They're a member of the International Cheese Institute or whatever it's called. And so they had this.
They're like serious cheese aficionados.
They had this big poster on the wall of different kinds of cheeses and what their pairings are. And so we spent a minute or two sort of sussing out what this paragraph was actually saying, and it was like the column on the left, because that's left, is what the names of the cheeses compared to the column on the right, which is their season. And you pair that, and getting like, oh, saison, à gauche, ah, oui, And so it was, like I can reading comprehension, I'm good. Speaking comprehension, if they slow it down a bit,
yeah, I mean
that's very challenging.
I mean, there's the weird thing. So there's like the weird thing because as I said, we're bilingual in Canada, but of course, just because we're weird this way, the English we actually learn. Or the French we learn in school is actually France French, not Quebecois, which is
pretty different.
Well, it's similar, but there's some serious differences.
Yeah.
And so it's very weird. I don't know why that is done. Whether it's just to piss off Quebecois, which
Possibly.
is entirely possible.
And when Paul says we are bilingual, he means that Canada's official second language is French, but not everyone. Speaks French.
We are
like,
a bilingual country.
Yeah,
Trivia time. There's only one properly bilingual province. Which one is it?
Yeah. Like
what do you mean by prop?
Like there's only one.
The constitution of the province states that the province is bilingual.
I'm going with Ontario.
Nope.
Damn. Alberta.
Nope.
Oh hell no.
Is it Quebec?
It's not
No.
Quebec.
It's not Quebec.
I figured it wasn't Quebec.
They're actually monolingual French.
Yeah. I guess so. Yeah.
Yeah.
It is New Brunswick. The province the country forgot.
Yeah.
It is. It really is. It's
Yeah.
all the way over there.
I know.
Well, I actually, to be fair, I forget all of those.
I always thought that
provinces.
was Manitoba.
Yeah.
No.
But so, whereas all federal signage, like in national parks, for example, all across the country, the signage is in English and French because it's national parks. But out here, basically Manitoba West, which is like the Midwest of the U.S., I think. No one really speaks that much French, to be perfectly
there's
honest.
a fairly large Métis population in Manitoba.
In Manitoba, yeah.
So a lot of
But-
people speak French there.
Yeah, I mean there are sort of isolated groups and stuff,
But there's not a huge
And
French
we-
population in Alberta. There's
and
not
we have
a huge,
one French channel.
There's not a
Yeah.
huge one.
Yeah.
There's not a huge population of French people in British Columbia, but there is a neighborhood in Coquitlam called Maillardville that is historically French. So there's lots of francophones there.
Makes
we
me think
have-
makes
we
me
have-
think of a duck.
One French channel, and it is channel 3.
Yeah.
Which, as you may know, is the channel that everyone uses to set their VCR for the That's because like all VCR tuners are either 3 or 4, right?
Yeah, I remember it would always be like when we were younger and you had to use like the RF adapter for your Super Nintendo. You'd be playing Mario and then you'd be finished. You turn the Super Nintendo off and it just goes like,
French, yeah.
it just goes like right to the CBC Francais,
And they always seem like
covering
they were
some sort of a
having,
hockey game.
it seemed like they were having more fun on
Yeah.
the French channel.
Yeah.
I always thought.
All
Anyway,
right, moving
Anyhow.
on.
Canadians.
We're weird.
no, we aren't. We're normal.
Waif asks, and this is a neat question that I don't know how we're going to be able to answer. If you could go back and add a stinger to one of the videos that you did before you did stingers, what would you do?
Oh my god.
The stingers, by the way, a stinger, also called a
Tag.
tag,
Yeah.
is like the little bit of a video at the end after the credits.
Yeah. I could see doing something for like the quantum documentary, doing like a quantum stinger at
Oh
the
my
end.
god!
Doing like, and this is the stinger.
Yeah, definitely.
Like I could see us doing that.
I mean, it's like what needs one. I don't know if there's one that.
Yeah, I mean, obviously they weren't written they were written to be sort of complete as they were.
Yeah, I mean, the quantum documentary makes the most sense.
I'm sure I could think of ones for other videos, but I don't know.
You know that we reshot the quantum documentary at one point?
Oh,
yeah,
really?
and it just didn't work. Like we didn't really even get that far in. Like we didn't even.
Yeah.
Like I don't think you even edited it or anything. Like
I don't
we
think
just-
so.
We just like looked at it as like, this isn't.
We
very
thought
good.
we thought that the original wasn't shot as nicely as it could be and wasn't lit as well as it could be, and we had a newer camera,
Yeah,
and we
which
were
is
like,
both true. Like it could have
Yeah.
been shot better and could have
Yeah.
been lit better.
and we were like, well, let's reshoot it. And for some reason, I mean, maybe this is, maybe it's another one of those like it's not funny to us because we know the joke sort of thing. But it was like, this isn't really.
Well, I mean, the original quantum documentary was
Here,
basically improv, right?
Yeah,
And so I think some of that sort of spontaneity was lost.
yeah. I have no idea where the footage for that would ever be, but
No.
yeah,
It's probably on one of those unlabeled tapes.
On
somewhere.
one of the many
the
unlabeled
myriad
DVD
of
tapes.
unlabeled tapes. Yeah.
So I guess quantum documentary is the answer to that question.
Yeah. Actually, I will briefly answer this. When did you get the? Pardon me. This is Exbando asks, when did you get the magic spoiler card from Wizards? The gate crash spoiler we've received on I think January 2nd.
Sure.
I think I'll have to check my email, but it basically they're like, here's your card, you have to preview it in 5 days,
Right.
and if you don't preview it in 5 days, that's fine, but we're putting it on our website in 6 days, so you
Right.
You should probably do that.
yeah, but you have a one day
So
where it's you can't preview it until then, and then after then they're going to do it themselves, so you have your 1 day in the sun.
yeah. So yeah, it's not like we knew about it way in advance. of everything else.
No.
No, wizards are pretty good at being secretive.
Now that you've told us all you can about Strip Search, are there any other secret projects in the works? You don't have to tell us if you can't, but technically nodding isn't saying anything.
Yes.
Then yes.
Yes.
Yes, there are secret
There are
projects.
secret projects.
There are things going on that we can't tell you about.
Yeah.
Let's just say that.
Yay!
One second. Way back before Loading Ready Run was even conceived, what got you interested in filming in the first place? Asks Foxmar.
I mean,
I don't know. I've always liked it.
yeah, for me, like I watch a lot of TV and movies, so I
Yeah.
mean that's sort of, and so it's sort of natural to want to sort of create that and be interested in the process of creating it.
First time I got a hold of a camera, it was just like, ooh,
Yeah.
ooh, I want to make movies.
My dad had a video camera when I was quite young.
Your dad had a lot of
Like-
video cameras.
Like my dad was sort of an early adopter of video technology to some extent, and so he like filmed a lot of stuff when we were young. And he was a bit of a in his youth, he was something of a photographer, like an actual still photographer too. And so he got really interested in. He shot a few like little 60mm stuff of my family and stuff, and then he got a video camera and shot that. And nice thing about a video camera is it's a lot cheaper. You don't have to have the film and stuff. And so he was cool with me messing around, Graham and I messing around with stuff, which I believe was shown at Desert Bus.
Yeah.
Loading
So
Ready Run Year Zero.
Oh yeah.
Right. Very, very young looking.
Yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
You guys were adorable.
Yes.
Actually, Paul, you just look like a smaller version of yourself. It was weird.
We did that trick where you just keep walking through the same door over and over
Yeah,
again.
yeah. It's like, holy crap. Which is like, that's actually like the first thing, like if you look back to like 1900,
Yeah.
that's like once people figured like one of the first things that Edison did was like a magic show that had like a magician like disappearing and like that was obviously just stopping and starting the camera.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean it's just sort of playing around with that kind of stuff. And so I guess it was always a medium that I kind of understood just a little bit. And then I did video when I was in high school. I was part of the like sort of video club at high school that filmed all the school productions. Until eventually I was actually sort of the I guess I'm head of the video club, but I was like in charge of the video club in terms of I was the actual like the switcher and stuff, and
Yeah.
calling the shots and doing things and stuff. And so I got really interested in that.
Yeah. Paul and I were both basically in charge of our school's respective AV clubs.
Yes.
So
We were super cool, as you
Yeah.
may have guessed.
the coolest.
Yeah.
Oh, I knew you guys were cool, but I had no idea how cool you were.
Yeah.
I was actually I was watching an amazing interview with, or listening to an interview with Louis C.K. And he was talking about like why he can do Louis show, which is amazing, is because he was in the AV club.
Yeah.
And he's like, he knows how to do it.
Because he actually cuts the show himself.
He does.
Yep, he
Yeah.
does, and he does a lot of the a lot of the actual like directing and producing and all. I think the latest season, some of the editing was done by somebody else, just because he had no time.
Yeah.
But the first season he edited all himself. And so anybody out there who is still in high school, AV club,
That's where it's at.
it's where all the cool people are.
There's also AV clubs in university.
That's true.
You can
But, I mean,
volunteer in your school's AV department.
High school is where you have like no other access to that kind of stuff, I guess. Maybe
Yeah.
I guess kids these days have like their phones and stuff.
Yeah, it's
So
a lot.
it's different.
It's a lot different now.
I got iMovie on my phone.
Yeah,
I know.
Exactly.
I mean, that is like it's pretty
Which is
amazing
ridiculous.
to me constantly that my phone has an HD camera that is basically as high quality as the camera Loading Ready Run used up until about 3 years ago.
Yeah. Silly. Foxmar also asks, will there be a Failhouse DVD at some point? Probably. That's not the next one we're planning on making, but
Probably, yeah.
it'll, yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
I mean,
I mean, we did the whatever thing, so we'll get to the Failhouse.
Yeah.
UNH Chabo. They're in capitals. The UNH are in capitals, and someone else asks. Unchabo asks, this is some short DVD related questions. Will the season 2 to 3 DVDs ever make a return? We'll probably reprint them at some point. When you announced the It's Magic DVD, you said that Wizards told you that you had to do it now. Does this mean it will only be available for a limited time? No, it means that we had to produce them now. So we've done a big print run, and they're there, and you can buy them until they're sold out.
But if they are
If
sold
we
out,
want to reprint them, we
Yeah.
have to go talk to Wizards again.
yeah. So if you want the It's Magic DVD, buy it ASAP.
Yeah. So
we have a fair amount of inventory.
there's no
we have a lot.
There's no time limit on it per se. The only limit is if they're sold out.
but
Yes.
they are
Once
they have,
they're gone, it's a fairly lengthy negotiation process with Wizards to reprint them. So that could take a while.
and they have been relatively popular. So do not
Just order
dilly
now.
dally about
Yeah,
it.
like
I should mention it's not that lengthy per se. They were actually really helpful and really keen to.
it's not the
make it
wizards are bad.
happen,
It just takes
so.
a long time to get through a corporation
yeah.
of that size.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it's not like, okay, just sign this form. It's like, all right, now it has to go through this department and this department. And if you've ever worked at a large company, you know how it is.
Yeah.
So, order it now, basically.
B. McCormick says, "Hey guys, welcome back to the podcast world. Let's get at it. What are your number ones game, movie, TV shows
Of last year?
of 2012?"
Can we,
I was-
can
I
we
was-
put
I was-
album in there, too?
I was initially
You
yeah,
said
sure. Didn't actually mention music, but we'll put music in there as
Oh,
well.
that did- okay.
I was initially terrified of that question, but of 2012, I think I can manage that.
And yeah, I don't know if I have a favorite of all of those.
Oh, God. I'd really have to, like, skim back through.
Okay,
the stuff that
favorite-
Came out.
Okay, so let's go by
Okay.
by
What's the first one?
by genre or by media.
Okay.
Let's
Game.
try. Okay, game.
What games came out in early 2012? Because it's like
That's always the problem.
I
yeah.
just played Dishonored and it was great, but I don't know if I can necessarily call that my game of 2012 because I don't know what else came out.
Well, plus we didn't play, like... I guess this is going to be a fairly subjective, because, I mean, there's lots of really good games that we just didn't play.
It's
Your favorite
always,
game is of
it's
course
always
it's subjective.
No, but, like, based on sample size, because I did
That's
not do a lot
fine.
of gaming
It doesn't
in
matter.
2012.
That's what that means.
Like game of 2012.
I played a lot of Deus Ex.
Oh yeah, wait, was that this year?
No,
was-
that came out in
that was-
2011.
Was it?
What? Really?
I played it in 2012.
Oh, okay.
I'm pretty sure. So
I remember
enough.
you playing it last Christmas, or, like, last fall.
yeah, so I guess, but I played it in 2012. So to me, that's a 2012 game. I guess if we're going games that came out,
Yeah,
um,
I'm just flipping through
I
the.
don't know. Like I played a lot of Diablo 3.
yeah,
I probably had the most fun playing Orcs Must Die 2. God, that game is hilarious. It's so much fun.
yeah.
What else did I play?
We played a lot of Pocket Planes early in the. early
Yeah,
in
we did.
2012.
A lot of Pocket Planes.
I did play a lot of Darksiders 2,
Yep.
which definitely came out in 2012. That was a super fun game.
Sorry, I'm looking at like the list of everything. Oh yeah, Angry Birds Space. That was actually a lot of fun.
Angry Birds Star Wars is like my favorite, I think.
Really?
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
It's really really
Angry
fun.
Birds Star Wars is pretty
Yeah,
awesome.
they do a lot of really really interesting stuff with it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Burnout Crash, Fez.
Ooh, Fez. Ooh, Journey.
Oh, Journey,
Journey
was,
was
so good.
so good.
Yeah, actually.
Oh, Max
Journey-
Payne 3, you played the crap out of that.
Oh yeah,
Diablo 3 came
Max
out
Payne
this
3
year?
was really good too.
Yeah, I think I would put Darksiders 2 above Max Payne 3. All right,
I haven't actually played Darksiders 2.
mixed
so.
media.
All right, well,
I'm going to say for games,
Like
I'm
we've
going to say
made-
that
I'll say Dishonored. Why not?
for a practical purpose, I think that my game of 2012 did not come out in 2012, but it was probably Fairway Solitaire.
Oh,
I played
yeah.
a lot of
In
Fairway
terms of
Solitaire this
hours,
year. They put out a new course every day. During the filming of Strip Search, Erica and Scott Kurtz and I all like got into this self-reinforcing Fairway Solitaire loop.
All right, what else we got?
Movies.
Came out this year.
favorite movie. I actually saw Wreck-It Ralph over the summer, and
Oh,
that
yeah.
was really good. Or sort of over the holidays, and that was really good. I really enjoyed that.
I think I might just go with the Avengers.
Oh, that was really good. Yeah.
I love
And
that
that was-
movie.
yeah.
Like it's either the
Yeah.
Avengers or the Hobbit, both of
And-
which I just loved immensely.
Yeah, I mean, I watched a little. I was watching some of the Avengers the other day, and it's
It's just so much.
Avengers
fun.
is amazing, not only as a movie unto itself, but as an idea of like what it represents, like the idea that kind of a movie could actually be made
yeah,
in the first
and
place
actually work.
and could be good.
Yeah.
And is that Joss Whedon can make more things now.
Mhm.
So for all, I'd probably have to say the Avengers.
Were you
I guess it's
reading-
kind of predictable, but
Did you read any of the stuff Bob was linking to about sort of how Warner Brothers is fundamentally not understanding the process that led to the Avengers in what they're doing for Justice League?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Where it's like heroes pop up or get cut out of the script depending on who's doing the rewrite. And it's like, how do you have any consistency in story if you keep changing the characters in it?
is that Warner Brothers or DC? Is that because I mean
I think it's
DC hasn't been doing a great
Warner
job
Brothers.
on their handling their own stuff. So.
yeah. I don't think DC cares as much.
All right, what else we got?
Also, Skyfall, I really liked.
Skyfall was
I
also
am
good.
actually might have to say I saw
You're
so
not.
few
You're
movies.
not. You're not on the mic at all.
I saw so few movies this year because I was so busy. I'm actually going to say Skyfall because I love me a James Bond movie. I am not a huge go to see movies in theater person. The only movie I regret not seeing in theaters was Seven Psychopaths. I really wanted to see that.
yeah.
Just didn't have time for it. Sad. But Skyfall was a good Bond movie, but it was also a good thriller. Like, that would have been good had it not been James Bond. Obviously, there's a lot of James Bondy themes and it's sort of tied back together. But if you had removed that, it still would have been a really interesting story with good actors and incredible cinematography and directing. So I approved of that movie on many levels, not just my fundamental enjoyment of all things James Bond.
All right.
TV show.
Community.
Yeah.
Or
Community.
The wrap-up season of 30 Rock has been amazing.
Yeah.
you.
It's only half the season,
But
though, in
yeah.
2012. So,
Yeah, but it's been so well written.
because the last season, season 3 of Community was in 2012. Right?
Yes.
Yeah, I'd probably say that. I also I don't know if it just started up again, so I guess the previous season was probably in 2012 of Justified. Is very good.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that.
Archer?
Archer's
Yeah.
good. Top Gear's good. Doctor Who's good.
Graham and I were just looking it up. That actually I thought that there had been longer than normal between Top, and they actually did skip They normally do 2 per year.
2 like little seasons. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
no,
this-
2.
2 British seasons.
Well,
Yeah.
this one, the ones that's coming out is even shorter than normal.
Yeah.
So
January
but they-
January 27th is the
It's
first episode.
the first episode.
Yeah, but they
it's gonna
skipped
be-
their summer season.
Yeah.
They got pushed back, and they didn't have a Christmas special.
Right.
They are doing one.
I know they are
Well,
doing
no,
one.
It's
yeah,
going to be the
their American
Top
prep.
Gear. It's the no. They're doing it's the Top Gear Christmas in February special, and it's in Africa.
Nice.
I
Oh,
thought
good.
That was in America.
There's also a U.S. special.
I found
okay.
that the last Top Gear Christmas special was awful, though.
It was not very good.
No, it wasn't.
No, everybody hated it, including them,
And-
so that was fine.
Yeah.
Which is too bad, because up until that point, Top Gear had been sort of improving.
Well, the following the season that followed it was
It was
just stellar.
amazing. Yeah. It was
Yeah,
super
yeah.
Good.
I
Well,
think
I found-
they were making up for it.
Yeah, I found that Top
Music.
Gear was like really good, and then
I don't even know.
oh,
I'm sure you have an opinion.
I have several opinions, but I need to refresh my memory on what came out
No,
this year.
okay. I thought you were gonna.
Uh,
Okay, keep going.
Well, okay. Here's what I liked. I liked the new Fiona Apple album, which proves that I'm just like an aging white woman. But that was good. Frank Ocean's album was surprisingly good, even though I'm
was
not
very good.
normally an R&B person. But I was like, wow, this is amazing
It's
and
pretty
really well
orange.
written. Obviously, the new Beach House was good, but it sounds like all Beach House albums. They have a sound. They know what they're doing, and they're going to keep making it. And so, kudos to them. But what did I really like this year? I really liked Bat for Lashes, and yeah, I wish I could think about this more, or like review all the 2012 albums I downloaded. But yeah, I don't know. I definitely think that it was the year of the ladies, I think.
I didn't listen to a lot of music this year. I'm trying to think.
We had a very busy year.
Were you disappointed at all by this year's Best of Booty album?
Yeah, it's not good.
Yeah.
It's just
All right.
straight up not good.
Good. I'm glad it wasn't just us.
Yeah,
I
no.
was like, oh, this is sort of.
There's some okay stuff in there, but overall, it's not good.
Last year's was
have
amazing.
Have you listened to the Booty Rio?
Yep.
There's
Booty
some
Rio is
there's some better
okay.
stuff on there.
Yep.
It's okay. But yeah, I don't know.
All right.
Shock Splicer has a question that I think actually we can address. It's is there any chance you'll put older LRRcasts on iTunes? I can only find the 10 most recent. Doesn't iTunes only display the 10 most recent initially, but you can get the older ones?
No. I like at the moment how we only actually feed the 10 most recent, and if you're subscribed to it obviously it'll keep the old ones, but we only actually have the 10 most recent in the RSS feed. That can be increased, but yeah, I mean, I could increase that. It's not going to have the entire archive in it though.
Right.
But I could increase, like, that's no problem to increase, but
Okay. We are working on revamping the
yeah, unfortunately
archive of audio podcasts.
Yeah, the audio podcast there's issues with Blip, and so we unfortunately lost our ability to serve audio podcasts, but that is now going to be changed. So
Yeah.
the audio podcast should be available through iTunes again ASAP.
Sweet.
This one as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
The audio version.
Yeah. Is the Hustle version of Adam still playing Diablo 3?
He is not.
All right. What about the real version of Adam?
He is not.
Okay.
Actually, the Hustle version, maybe he still is. I don't know.
Yeah. He's probably one of the ones who's
The real version is
mad
not.
about end-game content.
Yeah. But is doggedly playing it regardless.
Yeah, exactly.
He actually asks, any idea who, if anyone, from the crew will be making it to PAX East this year? Had a slight archive or
Recording issue.
recording hard drive issue there, but we're back now.
Hooray!
Getting all the kinks worked out. Yes, currently myself and Kathleen and James are planning to be there. And if anyone else is able to make it, we'll let you know. So,
Unfortunately, I don't think any of us are going to be able to come to Australia.
no,
At least not this year.
we'd very much like to,
But,
but
my
I
God,
don't
is it
think we
expensive.
can swing it
Oh
this year.
yeah,
If-
and it's
if-
just the time commitment.
If you
Well,
could somehow move Australia closer,
Yeah,
then maybe we could
Hook
talk.
some tow cables
Yeah.
to.
it's not even that. Like I'm fine with the distance, but at the same time, if I'm going that far and spending that much time in transit, I am not just going for PAX.
Oh yeah,
Oh, of course.
no. You
I
want
want
to
to
go
spend like 3 weeks
as
down
like a
under.
vacation, and then you're
So-
going on vacation for 3 weeks. And
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not.
I think you want to go on
feasible, so-
vacation before the.
So that's
the-
what I'm
the
saying.
con.
If it was closer,
Right?
all that would
Probably.
be solved.
The problem with the con is you can get sick, and then it knocks you out for the first couple of days of your vacation.
You know,
Right.
you do the vacation before.
Yeah. I think you go vacate like 2 weeks
Good point.
before, and then
You
half
see,
a week. And
So
Speaking
I
of-
think we'll give PAX PAX Aus a year, and then reevaluate and see if maybe we can go next year.
Speaking of Australia, did you see that thing that they the people who do like the color temperature map
Mhm.
of Australia had to invent a new color for how hot it was in the middle of Australia.
Oh.
They like went over. They had to. It's like it's white. Well, or like it's like red. We don't have any. All right, we'll make a purple. That's the super hot.
nice.
Like they had to add a new
Wow.
color.
That's
Yeah.
terrifying.
Global warming.
So
Do you have any go-to music that you play while having a magic duel? No, because
Yeah,
we
you have
never.
to focus.
oh, like
I don't know. Like,
concentrate.
is there music that you listen to when you're
when I'm
playing on Magic
playing
Online?
I listen to mostly like electronic. I can't listen. I try not to listen to anything with lyrics
Because it's distracting.
because it's distracting.
Yeah.
I generally just throw on like a mix of some sort. Generally like
Is there
trancey
any,
crap
like-
or whatever, just really mindless music that can just sort of go in the background. So
Is there any like songs that actually name check magic or like songs about magic
I don't know.
I don't,
that aren't like silly
that
geeky songs?
aren't goofy. I don't
Yeah.
think so.
There's a couple D&D ones, but
Yeah,
not
yeah, I mean-
magic that I know of.
Anyway.
All right, we'll look.
Yeah. Pygmy Worm asks, I noticed this season of Rapid Fire the scenes were a little less rapid. Generally, more of them felt like mini sketches with a setup, middle, and an end rather than a super quick 1 or 2 line gag. Was this change intentional or just the evolution of your writing style?
I think it was. I mean, I think I noticed that too. That I think there was less
Yeah.
of just sort of guy saying his catchphrase and then leaving.
I don't think I noticed that until sort of later.
Mm.
Like after we'd shot. I was like, I guess
think
we
it
didn't do
was-
any of like the pickup lines guy or the
Yeah.
shush guy sort of thing.
I think it was somewhat of a side effect of how we shot them, and we had to plan extremely tightly in advance and schedule a lot of people to be around. So there was less time just to like screw around and invent stuff on the fly because we had such a tight timeline for like we have to film because this has to run, so we need time to edit and stuff.
I don't think it was
right?
intentional though.
Yeah, I think it was.
Well,
I think
mean,
it was
like we didn't.
probably a side effect of our writing style change.
Yeah, but I don't think we came in and were like, let's
No, I mean-
let's
no.
do it more like
No.
this.
It's like I mean when the very first series of Rapid Fire we did Graham and I had been watching a ton of the Fast Show, which was sort
Yeah.
of the inspiration for
Oh,
that.
yeah.
And the Fast Show is very much exactly just
I
doing
actually
sort
like-
of catchphrases.
I actually like this season a lot better because, like, while I appreciate the Fast Show thing, like, if somebody's catchphrase doesn't hit for you, you have no idea what's going on, it's not funny at all. Like, or
But
at
the
least
idea with
the-
rapid fire is it's there very briefly.
yes,
Yeah. So if you don't like it,
yeah,
wait 3
but-
seconds.
But what I liked about this is like there was enough time to really like get into each of these like mini sketches, like just because something like I really like the fact that everything was like a minute long, right? It's
It actually made editing really challenging because there was less small stuff to just like
Yes, the timing was.
Yeah.
I think that it was sort of something that if we were doing another series of rapid fire, I think I'd like to see maybe a little bit more little short things.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Obviously not all little short things, but
nice-
a little bit more different lengths of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
totally.
like a few more like super like 10-second long things, or even 5-second long things. Like a few more of those spliced in would be good.
I think,
But I prefer this format overall.
You got fridge.
it's probably. I mean, the other thing is that since the last rapid fire did crap shots,
Yeah.
and so that probably influenced it to some extent.
That was
more-
that was part of the question actually. Was has crap shots influenced?
I think
this
it probably has. Like
Probably.
you're sort of we're sort of coming at it, thinking about sort of from a crap shots point of view as opposed to this
Mhm.
more sort of rapid fire point of view. So I think that could probably make a difference. But it was mostly subconscious, I think.
Yeah. Question from Duck A. I know Graham said the feed dump that James hosted was done without his knowledge. What inspired that?
There was no inspiration. It was just I didn't want to. They were gone for a couple weeks. I didn't actually go down for the shooting of Strip Search. I had to stay back here for work, and I didn't feel like doing. It feels weird to just because they were gone for. Actually, it only worked out to be like one Saturday you were actually gone for, where I was by myself. I woke up and I'm like, wait, what am I going to do now?
What do I do? What do normal people do on
What?
Saturday?
So we didn't actually shoot it that day. We shot it another day. I actually came in and cleaned on that Saturday because I was just like, I got to do something. But it just, I just wanted to try to do something. We sat down and we're like, all right, let's do this and let's make it silly and stupid. And you got exactly what we were aiming for. We just weren't sure if it was going to work.
I like
The editing for that was quite challenging.
I like
Yeah.
there was the criticism that you read that was like this is clearly what happens when three people who have no idea how to make a rapid fire or make a
feed dump.
make a feed dump.
And it was
No.
just like,
The thing is, all three of you have done them.
Yeah,
before.
I
could have.
I think we
done a
probably
normal
could have.
one.
Yeah, if we had buckled down and we're like, let's actually like make a legit feed dump. But where's the
funnier
fun
that
in
way,
that?
though.
Like, this was just supposed to be like I didn't even know if it was going to work. Like, we just sat
Like
down
the
for
plan
like the
was,
hour.
let's do a terrible feed dump.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
like Alex even said that the other day when he came in. Like, he's like, yeah, that was kind of what we were trying to do.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. No, it was trained, and I edited it to make it look worse. Like I used your
you
first
used
takes a lot of the
and
time.
stuff like that. Yeah.
Because you're like, all right, well, maybe we should do that again. I was like, no, we're just using the really
I love
ridiculous
how,
take.
How badly the theme songs fell
Oh,
apart.
that one theme song was just
Oh
terrible.
my god.
Well, Alex tends to troll theme songs anyhow. Like he screws around when he's trying to sing something like that on purpose. So
Speaking of which, the White House responded to the petition of the Death Star.
Yes, they did.
It was amazing.
It was so good. Why would the U.S. government back a space station that can be destroyed by a one-man spaceship?
Yeah. Moving on.
All right. There's a preamble for this, which I'll go into. But the question that you can think about is: do you have a favorite audiobook or something like an audiobook that you've listened to recently? The preamble is: normally when I drive to the East Coast to visit my family, I listen to LRRcasts and the Derp Show to pass the time, keep myself alert, and generally keep my car from getting embedded into an angry Quebecois farmstead somewhere off the A40. However, when I drove up last week, this was not much of an option because we weren't LRRcasts. So I discovered the magic of audiobooks. So have any of you listened to any audiobooks?
I did the audiobooks like once or twice. Which one did I listen to? I feel like it was whose book was it?
Paul and I actually got each other iTunes audiobooks for Christmas, as it happens. I got Paul Mogworld,
Yeah.
and Paul got me How to Land an Airbus A330 by James May, which I actually own the real book of.
Oh, you do?
I do, but I haven't finished it, and I'm really looking forward to actually just hearing James May read it.
See,
I think that's probably the best way to experience it.
That's actually good. Honestly, the reason why I got you the audiobook is that you cannot gift books on iTunes.
Really?
Yeah.
Weird.
iTunes is dumb.
Huh.
But that worked out quite well.
All right.
yeah,
But
I
yeah,
think-
I'm looking forward to the Mogwai because apparently Yahtzee does different voices for the different characters. and
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, he
It
does.
was David Cross's book
Oh, okay.
that I listened to in audio form, and it was awesome. I generally listen to podcasts though.
Yeah,
not
podcasts have sort of
audiobooks.
replaced audiobooks in terms of listening. for me.
Oh yeah, I've been listening to so much limited resources recently.
Yeah.
Lots of limited resources. An amazing podcast, if you care about anything like that, is a CBC podcast called The Invisible Hand. It ran for an abbreviated season over the summer.
That sounds worrying.
And no, because it was like a summer fill-in show, but I really want them to do it again this coming summer, or make it into a full show. It was so interesting. It's about economics.
Do they have a... is there an official...
Hence The Invisible Hand.
Yes. Is there an official podcast of Under the Influence?
Yes, there is.
Good.
So
listen
Terry
to
O'Reilly's new
Under the
show.
Influence. Terry O'Reilly is the man.
Oh, is he not doing
The Age of Persuasion?
It seems like
No.
basically the same
It's the
show,
same
but
show.
they changed the
They
name a
changed the
while
name.
ago.
There may have been a reason for it. I'm not
Oh,
sure, but
that's-
there's
Probably makes sense as why my Age of Persuasion podcast isn't updated in a really long time.
yeah, it's called Under the Influence now.
Yeah.
It's a show about marketing and advertising, and it's
incredible.
fascinating.
Yeah,
It's really
it's
really
awesome.
awesome.
Let's see. Oh, but good audio books that I listened to A Walk in the Woods by Bill Bryson. That was good. It's just a funny book.
Is he the one doing the book?
Yeah, he
Nice.
reads it. And it's super old, but there is an audiobook of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy read by Douglas Adams. So
Ooh.
find that and download that. That's awesome. It's like the original radio play adaptions or something like that. But
Well,
anyhow, it's
because
cool.
there was a radio play of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, which is totally different from the book.
Yeah.
Which is weird.
Nicholas MC1 says, "How does it feel to lose the Australian audience because of a quip about our great Lord Julia Gillard?"
I think that Australians should be flattered that we knew who Julia Gillard was. To be honest,
that was
with
the
you.
point, right? It was just make a joke that only Australians will get.
Yep.
King Cool says, "Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god." He's happy that the podcasts
Apparently,
are back.
yeah.
Do you have plans for a new GPLP? Yes.
Yes,
Also, remind me someone to put up another episode today.
Sounds good.
I will remind you.
If another episode hasn't gone up when this podcast went up, remind Graham.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey LRR, if this is from King Cool, if they invented replicators tomorrow and they said, "Hey LRR, choose a hamburger to put into the replicator's repli memory so it can replicate one perfect repli burger for all time, which burger would you choose?"
Ooh,
Repli burger.
that's a good question.
Probably something from the Pink Bike.
I have two
Oh,
favorite
they're-
burgers.
They're
lamb.
They're
It's either
mutton burger.
it's either
the blue cheese.
Oh, I know what you're gonna say.
Well, it's between either the burger from Fifth Street, which
Yeah.
I love,
The
to
Fifth
death,
Street,
the buffalo,
Yeah, yeah.
Is it
or
buffalo?
bison,
Bison.
and then the Good Morning burger from Bin 4 is probably my second favorite
Really?
burger.
What-
I've never had that one.
Yeah.
Oh,
another
it's
one.
so good.
I'm a
What's on
big
it?
fan of the bin for
Eggs.
the
Guac.
ooh, eggs
It's
and guac.
okay. I want it now.
I'm a big fan of
Time for lunch.
the bin for black and blue.
Black and blue is very
It's
good.
it's a blackened patty with blue cheese and it's so good.
Yeah.
And the pink bicycle. These are local
I'm a
local
chosen
Yeah.
mutton.
local burger joint.
'Cause
Yeah,
it's
the
a
mutton.
mutton and blue cheese, isn't it, on that burger?
And
Very
the
That one.
Irish Times Bacon and Brie.
is
Also
really
very
good,
good.
yeah.
Also
Ooh,
very
yeah, that's a
solid.
good one too.
So burgers that
We-
you have no access to.
Yes.
Yeah,
I
tell
mean-
you what burger it would not be though. It would not be White Castle, because I went and had White Castle for
Oh,
the first
yeah.
time in December, and me and my boss were like all excited. We're sitting down, me and AJ are eating these burgers, and look at each other. And we're like, well, I can understand why you'd want to be stoned to eat this food.
I was just gonna say,
I
were
mean,
you
that's
high?
like I
no,
don't
we
think,
were not.
Well,
I don't
there's
think
your
anybody
problem.
is like White Castle has awesome burgers. I
Oh,
think it's
I'm sure some people are.
I do
mostly
not understand
excited
the
because they're
fetishes-
tiny.
Yeah.
The fetishization of the tiny burgers is weird. They're not good.
It's
All right.
like my hands.
Keep going.
It's so huge.
Ananzi P1 asks, I've noticed that some of your earlier Escapist videos have made it to your YouTube account, even though they're still on The Escapist. Does this mean you've regained the distribution rights? So here's the thing. It's not so much like a regaining of the rights. Like I believe there's a limitation on when we can do that that's actually quite small.
yeah.
We're just really,
It's
really
like a month or
behind.
something.
Yeah.
It's not. Wasn't it like 2 weeks?
I don't know.
I don't know.
We're
It's not
way
much.
behind.
Yeah.
The plan is to continue to do what you saw there and go as far back in the archive as we can of videos that are only on the Escapist, put them up on our YouTube account, and then redirect the Loading Ready Run page to our YouTube one. So that is a plan going forward that you'll see more of.
Yeah.
So
And I guess that'll also, hopefully, it won't be that'll just be for Loading Ready Run stuff, not for Unskippable and things, of course. Because
no, well, Unskippable, that's
it's
their
actually
thing.
owned by
they
the
actually
Escapist,
own that. So.
But that would apply to feed dump too, though, right?
Mhm.
Yes.
Captain Ender 7 says, I seem to remember that you guys are doing a playtest of D&D next. How is that going?
Super good, but we haven't played in a long time.
Yeah, for as previous reasons as mentioned about why we haven't done a podcast, we also haven't done D&D in a while.
Mm-hmm.
I hear that I keep getting like I got a survey thing.
I'm sure the
other
rules are
day.
different now.
Yeah, I'm sure it's totally different from what we were playing.
Just a completely different game.
One thing that, because I mean, we haven't talked about it much, but
My character's the best.
one thing I really enjoy about it is that, at least when we've been playing, is that there aren't yet rules for the battle map. They say that there will be, but it won't be required as it has been in the past, and they prefer to use the theater of the mind, which is what it says in the little booklet.
That's cute.
Which I actually really enjoy. I mean, I feel like you've got to have a good DM to make this work. But Jer is a really good DM, and it's super fun to be like, you know, like we walk into a room and Jer's like, "There's 5 guys in there," and Paul's fighter. He's like, "All right, I'm going to attack the closest guy," and Jer's like, "All right, it's." In his head, he's like, "It's this guy," and Paul does it. He's like, "Okay, that guy's dead." And Kathleen's like, "I want to use burning hands," and Jared's like, "Well, it's a 20 by 20 room. There's you guys are in there. There's 5 guys. I'm gonna say that you can hit these 3, or I'm gonna say you can hit 3 of them with your cone," and I'd be like, "All right, roll for it. Cool. I do this damage." And rather than getting caught up in the minutia of like, I have to be here to make sure that I can do this, and then you have to come around here to flank. And some people really dig that. That's like really
It's more
like
sort of strategic.
the strategic like placement on the battle map is really cool for some people, and that's awesome. I prefer to have more sort of story accomplishment, and I love the combat, but I prefer the combat to not take hours.
Yeah.
And so I really like the quicker pace that is allowable by not getting too bogged down in everyone being precisely where. It does mean that your DM has to sort of have an understanding of what's going on in his head. But if they can do that, then it's so good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean the only issues that occasionally, and for some reason the adventure we're playing happens to be bad for this, is that we're just sort of losing track of how many guys are around and like where.
Yeah, it's like, wait,
'cause-
okay, we've killed 11 guys. How many guys are still left? And Jared's like, 7.
It's like where did they come from? And so
Don't
stuff like that.
even
Like
worry
it's,
about
it's
it.
easy to lose track of that stuff. So, but it's just a matter of
It's like going through a Diablo dungeon.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
it's a matter of keeping track of everything.
Marshak asks, I have a few things I'm wondering about. The first is, do you have any plans in expanding the number of cons that LRR goes to? Not offhand.
Not
Really.
yet.
The problem with cons is that they eat up a lot of our time.
They're far away.
And we have things to do.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
like, we try to, like, the big ones that we try to hit are PAX East, PAX Prime, and Calgary.
Yeah,
We'd
Those
like to
are
go to
those
Emerald
are-
City this year.
because
Fingers crossed.
It's pretty
Seattle's
close.
really, really close. The Marshak is asking specifically about Gen Con.
Gen Con would be awesome. I would
yeah.
love to go to Gen Con.
Yeah.
It's we prefer to like weekends that we're at cons or weekends that we can't be shooting. So like it's a trade off.
Yeah,
And especially some of these, like, while, obviously there's a lot of crossover with, with RPGs and with anime, and we, sort of different conventions have different focuses.
Mm-hmm.
It's sometimes a little weird. Like, it's like we go to like an
anime
anime convention, and
Yeah.
it's like, I mean, there's lots of people here like us, but just sort of a little weird to be. So, yeah, it's we have to choose them a little carefully because it can be, and it's a lot of not only in time but in money and travel and all this stuff. So we have to make sure that we can actually recoup our money that we spend and all that kind of stuff. So unfortunately, we can't just go wherever we want, but we do try to
hit up as many as we can.
Yeah. And their next question relates to Desert Bus 6, because just this last week they finished watching Desert Bus 5. Yes, all 150 hours.
Nice.
And was wondering
Wow.
if we knew if Desert Bus 6 would be online somewhere. And he says that he's checked Twitch, but I'm kind of worried that it is out of order. So it should all be on Twitch.
Yeah.
I know that Fugiman is working on a Desert Bus 6 torrent, much like the Desert Bus 5 torrent, which I presume is what you were watching.
but it's higher definition than Desert Bus 5 was. So it's taking, I remember reading an update in the forums that it was taking him longer.
I think something went wibbly.
Yeah.
He was hoping to have it out just before Christmas. So
But it's so that is available, and of course all the highlights are up on YouTube.
Yeah. So I
There's
know
like 500 videos.
I know he's posting updates on the Loading Ready Run forum. His Twitter is @Fugiman, Fugiman. Don't bombard him, but maybe he'll know what's up.
Yep.
If Kathleen is there, I'm incredibly curious to hear your impressions of Persona 4 the Golden.
Well, I bought a Vita, and I have unpacked it, but I haven't played it yet because I was too busy. And after we came back, we had to do a bunch of like furniture moving and reorganization in our house because Alex moved in with his girlfriend, so we had a spare room and we want to set up an office.
You don't need to defend your fact that you haven't played it.
No, but I was holding it over myself as a motivator. So I still haven't opened it yet.
But
we're done. So I'm
Maybe
going
we
to
can
start
play
it this
tonight.
weekend.
Yeah.
All right.
So
Well, when we get to
stay
the
tuned.
games podcast, maybe you'll have info about that.
Barcode Reader says some very nice things about Desert Bus. And it says, were there or are there any Desert Bus memes that have gotten too tiresome for you guys already? I was not really down with Africa by about halfway through Desert Bus 5.
Yeah.
There are memes that got tired during Desert Bus.
Only because like I appreciate the humor, especially like where it came from, which was that we have no idea what we're singing a lot of the time. But when random people in the room started yelling it during perfectly fine other performances, it was like, this is weird now.
Yeah, I think that's probably my least favorite meme of all of Desert Bus.
Which is a shame because I love why Ashley did it originally so much. Like in context,
it was hoisted by its own petard.
So funny.
It flew too fast too quickly.
I think that was it. It got
burned out on it immediately.
Overplayed so fast.
Much as I love Normal Guy, Normal Day.
Or Normal Guy, Normal Walk.
Normal Walk or whatever.
I think that one's dead after this year.
It was
overplayed.
Way, way overplayed during Desert Bus 6.
I feel that the Werner Herzog to the store let it go out on a high note at the end.
I don't. That one's not coming back. I have to retire that one.
I like Screaming Sheep though. It still makes me laugh. You guys have mentioned the many inspirations for what you are doing. Have you ever seen a comedy group or a website that has been directly inspired by you? Yes. You should check out What Have You. That's them, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Why? WHY? Yeah. What Have You? They're Vicky Mim or
Vicky the Mim.
Vicky Moole wrote a sketch for us called Wakey Wakey about a wake, and it was really funny. And then she was like, "Wait, rather than give Loading Ready Run my scripts, we should shoot them." And so she got some friends of hers together, and I know that their schedule has been sort of in flux because some people live in other places and there's school and all that. But they have a YouTube account, and I don't remember what it is. Damn it!
It's Y Comedy.
Is it? Thank you.
Yes.
So they have some very, very good sketches. She's very, very funny.
She also wrote that the guy about to die video for us. She'd actually write a video. The guy who's like, he's got whatever, how many minutes left to live, and going around.
Wasn't that?
That was Wakey Wakey.
Yeah.
Oh, but okay, yeah.
Yeah.
She actually gave that to us, and we did shoot that.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. The way you said it made it sound like she didn't give.
No. She wrote that video, and then we shot it, and was like, that was really funny. And then she was like, oh, cool, I can write funny things, and then went and did funny things.
Yeah.
So. Yeah. And there's some other people who have hit us up on Twitter or whatever over the years and say like, hey, you've been an inspiration to me, but I don't know
who they are.
So, but I know this one, so check them out. Has Matt really gotten that film student crazy after 2-3 months of school?
No.
I said in the forums he's not actually going to film school. He's doing a master's in digital media.
Yeah.
But it made more sense for the thing is everything that Matt says in that video is stuff that he or Jer or I could regurgitate from our undergrad film studies class. That is just like the stuff that film students talk about, cinema verite. And I was really, really pleased with diegesis.
Yeah, that was good.
Which I still couldn't actually define for you offhand. So, and how was you guys' Christmas?
Good.
It was good.
It was good.
Will you guys? Zippa asks, will you guys be re-uploading older videos like the Rumble? Yes. I keep forgetting about the Rumble. I'm sorry.
It's like this weird. It's like we've got videos before that and videos after that. It's just somehow the Rumble fell through the cracks.
Yeah.
Who are your favorite rapid fire characters to write and or play? I love writing the STD girls just because I love coming up with like really stupid dialogue that has. It'd be easy to do something that made no sense and was completely random, but that dialogue that seems like it has a nugget of intelligence to it, that there's some sort of internal logic. Like, this stupid person has thought it through in their stupid way, and to them it makes sense.
They just completely missed the point.
But they've completely missed it. I really enjoy. And I liked playing the salesman, working out awkward body motions.
Absolutely.
Get out, Chips.
Worst spokesperson ever. My favorite rapid fire character to write for. But you can't afford that kind of kidney magic. Just that is my sense of humor to a T.
I like the. I like doing the rejected Apple apps.
Oh yeah,
that's always fun. It's just. I mean, that's just like coming up with a list of like looking at basically all the apps and being like, what kind of. How could this be done in a stupid way? How could this be done in a stupid way? How can we throw technology at this problem that is completely unnecessary?
I'm trying to remember was there actually an Apple spokesman named Bob?
Yeah, it was
Bob Mansfield.
It was the when the iPhone first came out.
Uh-huh.
I mean, those ads were a direct reference to when the iPhone first came out. They were like, "Hi, I'm Bob from Apple." And it was
because that sounds like a joke, right?
Yeah,
Bob from Apple.
Good Bob.
Yeah.
Bob for Apples.
Bob for Apples.
Yeah. But I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it was a guy. Like, it was a guy who, when the iPhone first came out, it was the guy who, it was like the demo videos to actually, because nobody had a touchscreen phone before.
Yeah,
sure, they had to do different things, and it was weird because he was like, sort of looked like Steve Jobs, and wore like
a turtleneck.
Well, he wore like a black long sleeve T-shirt, not actually a turtleneck. But he was younger and sort of hipper, and I guess. And Steve Jobs had better things to do.
True story. All right.
Lord Hosk asks, Kathleen, do you have any other free mobile games you would like to get me addicted to? I have over 1 million points on Triple Town right now.
Not right now, but things could change.
You've been playing the Penny Arcade deck building game on iOS.
But it's not free.
It's not free, no.
But it's good.
It's fun,
it's
though.
good.
Yep.
So is also not free but fun Ascension.
Yes.
Speaking of deck building games,
I actually really, really like deck building games.
Actually,
try out favorite mobile games.
Try out Soulforge, although that's not for the iPhone.
It's for the iPad.
It's for the iPad.
Ooh, I'm gonna try that because
it's cool. I like it a lot.
Unfortunately, I'm at the point where I'm kind of too good at Ascension. I can always beat the computer on the highest difficulty setting, but it's annoying to set up like real games.
Gotta start playing with those real people though.
I know, but then it's like you got to be sitting there next to your iPad for like half an hour and waiting to take turns. It's sort of annoying. Right?
Although their system worked out really, really well because we did that once, each playing on our own iPad, and that was actually went really well.
Mm-hmm.
The Bookster asks, what was the first con each of you went to? Not as Loading Ready Run, just what was the first con you went to?
Probably an anime con.
Oh,
yeah,
for sure
it was most definitely an anime con, probably in town. What was Tsukino Con before?
K-Con?
Or
K-Con?
It was a K-Con
It used
before?
to be K-Con, but I don't think that wasn't it for me.
Mine was probably the one that we did after hours at. Like, I didn't actually been to a.
That was the
that.
combined Victoria Comic Festival, combined Vancouver Island Film Festival, combined Island Trek.
Yeah, that was the first.
Actually, yeah. If you're talking about con,
the first convention that I went to as like.
Oh wait.
For
where was that at?
Enjoyment.
Was that
at the convention
at the conference center?
Yeah, that was in what grade was I in?
Would have been 2002.
No.
Well, because we had after hours. Would have been 2001 then.
2001.
Okay.
Because I'm pretty sure I went there with Matt in high school. Yeah, that actually would have been the first con I went to.
I think the first sort of like anime convention or like that kind of convention I went to. Sorry, the first non-Star Trek convention I went to was, I think it was called ACA-Con in Vancouver with Bill and Matt. We went over on the ferry.
Yeah, I remember that.
I remember the name ACA-Con.
Yeah.
But I never went to anime conventions before going there with LoadingReadyRun.
Yeah, it's great because there was a security guy there who's like 6'6" 6'6", I want to say, and Bill is 6'10".
Yeah,
and so the security guy was like, I love this quote. He was just like, "Damn, you're tall. I mean, I'm fucking tall, but damn, you're tall."
Yeah, man.
I really liked that. But the first convention of any sort I went to was the Creation Convention, Star Trek Con, at the Hyatt Regency in Vancouver with Marina Sirtis.
We went to that. There's that like computer animation convention in Vancouver. We went to one time with Alex and Ken.
Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't
We don't like
really.
talking about
It wasn't really like a convention. It was just like a trade
It
show.
was a trade show. Yeah,
Yeah.
It was, yeah. Got to meet Ray Harryhausen.
Yeah, he was
Sweet.
cool.
That was fun. But yeah, it was great because I went to the Creation Convention with Marina Sirtis, and then a couple months later, this is when like the Star Trek conventions came through town like every like 4 or 5 months, basically. Like Star Trek conventions was a big business at that point, and went to the one with Marina Sirtis, and then went to the one with Michael Dorn a little later. And the first thing Michael Dorn said when he got on stage for his sort of keynote thing was he's like, "So you all had Marina here recently, right?" And like, "Yes." "Okay. Everything she told you was a lie. She makes things up and lies."
Nice.
It was really funny. He, of course, was joking. What was the first con you went to as LRR?
Definitely KCON.
KCON, yeah.
I think.
I think yeah, with
Definitely.
Cake on.
Yeah.
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 Although yeah.
Which is
And
now.
we weren't
which is
actually
Which is
now,
now
there.
SukinaCon.
We didn't actually have like a booth or anything. We just went and did the stuff.
We did the
with Gib.
panel.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Jesus.
But that wasn't even.
But that wasn't actually
I guess.
as-
Well, that was attending as LRR.
Yeah.
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 Like what was our first panel
No, we had a panel at KCON too.
that year?
That year?
The year we went with Gib and just recorded.
Maybe we did.
I think
stuff?
we. Yeah, I think
I
we
think
did.
we did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do.
It was a
Oh,
very.
that's very nice of you, Alexander Ditto. He says it's. I'm very glad to see you guys getting more extra video gigs like pocket planes, shorts, strip search, etc. I think these are more important than the podcasts. If the podcasts have to go on hiatus, I'm actually fine with no podcasts. Well, thank you, Alexander Ditto. Hopefully, we'll be back though.
Hopefully we can do both.
Is there anything you want me to bring you to PAX East besides baby carrots?
No, the vegetables are always really appreciated. Keep doing that.
Yeah. Silverfish asks, is the terrible salesman from Rapid Fire at all inspired by Sonor Card Gauge from Homestar Runner? They are distinct characters, but I think they have a similar feel to them.
Yeah. It's possibly subconsciously in some way.
Subconsciously, but
Yeah.
the thing is, like that, like really, like super awkward, weird stringing together of words is basically the funniest thing I find. Like, it's
Yeah.
the funniest.
I think
it's my opinion of what is the purest form of comedy in the universe. I love it so much.
I think it's the putting strange emphasis on words and the sort of strange kind of broken cadence. For me, my inspirations for that. I mean, I guess there probably was some Sonor Card Gauge in there with like, but I mean, we didn't do any of the strange words that he does. You know,
Right,
like,
yeah.
"Exard on me, Belinda." But honestly, one of the biggest inspirations for that was the way that Chris Straub talks in the Blamimations when he and Scott are doing their sort of like when they're doing their sort of preamble, and sometimes they'll talk like this, and just strange, like yeah, it is the cadence. I think like
Emphasis.
the timing between words, timing between words. And just weird stuff like that. It would be terrible for a spokesman. So, Mihal, we will look into what's up with postage to the UK for DVDs. Postage in general is cheaper
And
now.
it should be faster.
And will definitely be a lot faster than it was before to the UK. But I worry that it may actually just be a little more expensive than it was before.
Yeah.
But I will
Which
check.
sucks. Sorry, guys.
Yeah. Wow. Sleeping Zombie says, this question might be a bit too personal. I don't think it's necessarily personal, but I've in recent times been in a robbery, given chase to said robbers, nearly missing an axe to the face, and had an encounter with a heavy ex-mobster and his dangerous fight dogs. So to give myself an opportunity to hear someone else, have any of you guys ever been in a similar sort of live fire situation?
Actually, seriously dangerous?
Not to that
No,
extent.
I've
No.
never
No.
ever been in a situation where I
No.
feared for my life.
No.
I've never been in a situation where I've
Yeah.
actually
That sounds terrifying.
Unless I've been in Matt's car, in which case I'm always fearing for my
Oh,
life.
Matt is a
Through the mountains.
Only
the rain.
twice. Only twice have I ever and it's not. I would have probably been freaking out regardless of who was driving, but along the number 1 in California, late at night in that stupid ass bus was absolutely terrifying.
Thank God we were driving northbound.
Yeah, because then we were on the inside lane.
Yeah.
And then the other time was actually recently. It was when we were coming back from Calgary last year.
Right.
We came through the mountains
Yeah.
and we it was snowing like absolute crazy. He was driving my van because I was taking a break. He was driving too fast, in my opinion, and he didn't slow down when we drove past a horrific car crash. Like, it was terrifying. It's just like, how is that not a signal to slow the hell down, Matt? He's like, don't worry about
Matt's
it.
a very aggressive driver, and for I don't know, James and I both drive fast, but the way that we drive tends to be a little bit more smoother. But Matt just tends to drive jerkily, and I don't know. It's a very hard way to describe it, but
Yeah.
it puts me on edge.
Again,
and
anybody in that situation, it didn't really
Didn't
matter
matter
if it was
that it was
Matt.
Matt, no.
it was just the situations that I was in.
Yeah.
But other than that,
I'm
no.
trying to think if
nothing
I have
like that.
anything even approaching that kind of.
No.
when I grew up, I spent my formative teenage years in Prince George. Cam and I both did, and we will both attest. It's a very tough town. Like, there's a lot of fighting and stuff there. So there's a few situations where I was like walking through perhaps not a good neighborhood because that's the neighborhood I lived in, but I had to get home, and you'd have to walk fast along certain streets. One time, these kids came out of like the yard of a duplex and threw rocks and eggs at us and tried to jump us, but we took off and ran faster. But that's the only time. I wasn't gonna die though. I was just gonna get mugged.
Yeah. No. Not really.
Maybe you need to make some. Whoever wrote this needs to make some life changes.
Yeah,
They're dealing
please-
with all these scary people. all the
Please
time.
move
Yeah. Wow.
and stop hanging out with mobsters. Anyways, keep going.
All right, this is the last one we have. Actually, I believe.
Sweet.
Yes,
It's good.
it is.
I think we're at like an hour and a half now. So
Oh wow. I'm just. I'm trying to see if there's a question in here. Hang on.
Maybe it's not. Maybe
Oh, here we go.
Okay.
Dear people of LRR, you've been making comedy videos for a while now, so I'm going to assume you are an authority on comedy. How does randomness play into your videos, and are you a fan of doing videos this way? Monty Python seemed to have a good mix between random events happening and just funny situations, while things like the movies seem to fail at it horribly.
Oh, like the scary movie, like the movies, right?
Yeah, I'm just trying to actually. I'm trying to actually decipher the. Also, we held your friend Mike hostage at our house for New Year's, but we let him go around 1 so he wouldn't miss the SkyTrain.
Oh,
Mike Whitaker, I guess.
yeah.
Oh, crazy. I'm trying to figure out, how does randomness play into the videos? Do you mean like ad-libbing, or
just like totally bizarre things happening coming out of left field.
yeah?
That doesn't happen super
That's
often.
difficult to plan. Like it's difficult to make totally random, in heavy air quotes, stuff funny.
Yeah, it's like I'm a big believer in what I call sort of internal consistency or internal logic.
Yeah.
I think that there has to be a reason for things to be happening in a sketch,
Even
even if that reason is stupid,
Yeah.
or if the reason is some sort of fantasy thing, or is totally
or makes
bizarre.
absolutely no sense in the real world.
But within the context of the sketch, I find I feel that's important, and it adds to the comedy. If you just have like that, I mean, this is something that bothers me with some comedy that is sort of on TV,
Yeah.
particularly on like Adult Swim type stuff.
Yeah.
Is that just sort of random for random's sake stuff that'll just be like, hey, here's another weird thing, here's a weird thing, here's a weird thing, and it's just sort of like, okay.
Yeah. I've never seen anything so unfunny as the genre that is YouTube poop. It is. I couldn't conceive anything less funny. It's just like clips from old cartoon shows, repeated at different speeds with different filters, and then like reversed and flipped and like glitch mixed and stuff. And it's
Is it supposed to be funny?
yeah, because it's totally random. Oh my god, so random, you guys. It's not funny. It's not even remotely funny.
Yeah, I mean, I can see that as
No.
being
Random
art.
is the He-Man "What's Going On" song. Like that's random,
That's funny as hell.
but you know, because like that's a really weird mashup of
Yeah.
like.
No, this is totally. I'll show you some afterwards.
Yeah.
You'll be appalled.
But I mean, that seems more like I could see that as being sort of artistic, maybe.
I get it's not, but I guess you're right.
But yeah, I don't know. It's yeah, randomness. I think as a like when you having something totally weird happen in a sketch is fine, and is totally that's often how sketches work.
Yeah.
But it has to sort of fit within the framework of whatever world you're trying to create.
Yeah. Anyone can put words on paper. Not everyone can be a writer. Anyone can make things random. Not everyone can make that funny.
Yeah. Huh. Aren't we snobby?
Yeah. Hey, we're supposed to be saying as an authority on comedy.
I don't know if we're authorities on comedy.
I
This
think
guy
so.
said we
But
were. So
Mike,
there you go.
Mike told me all about this New Year's party. So hello.
I think we're an authority on. We're an authority on.
We're an
an
authority
aspect
on
of
comedy we like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're very authoritative about
Yeah,
comedy we like.
Everybody is an authority on comedy you like.
Oh my God, Kathleen.
Yes.
When's Archer coming back?
Not soon enough.
Wait, isn't it?
It's like January 17th or
Oh,
something.
I thought it was the 12th.
Maybe it's the 12th.
That's
I don't know.
today. That's today. It might be today.
Oh, thank God. I love Archer so much.
Anyway. So hey, yeah, that's the end of our Askler, and I don't think we have anything else to discuss.
No.
Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Please let us know what you thought of our fancy new setup. If it sounds good, if everything looks good to you. We are really excited to get back on the podcast train.
Mm-hmm.
Let us know what you think of our plans for this and those games and Gesundheit and our Magic podcast.
And if you have any suggestions for the 4th podcast,
Yeah,
which
we're really excited about this. So,
Yeah.
Here are some suggestions for me to you. Wizard chat.
God damn it!
Wizard chat.
Can I like put you in a chokehold?
Wizard
you could.
chat.
Yeah, just
Wizard chat.
Just take down mic number
Take
1. There you
mic.
go.
Wizard chat. Wizard chat. Wizard chat. Wizard chat. Wizard chat. We are fighting over the board. All right.
All right,
I
well-
have other suggestions. James's advice column.
oh god,
Wizard chat. No.
Wizard chat.
No. I think James should give an advice podcast where he like fixes his problems.
Oh god, this is bad.
Okay,
Unmute
this
me.
is done.
This is gonna be
Okay.
This
so
podcast
bad.
is now done.
So
All right,
over.
we will talk to you guys next time. Thank you so much. for
Wizard
listening.
chat lives.
Thank you for listening, and we will talk to you next time.
Wizard chat.
Bye.